One very important skill to have when having an English conversation is the ability to ask questions so the conversation keeps going smoothly. In this English lesson, I'll teach you 10 very common questions that you can ask during an English conversation to do just that. Questions you can ask that just make the conversation go smoothly and to make the conversation enjoyable for both people. The first question you can ask to help a conversation keep going smoothly is the question, would you do it again? This is a great question to ask after someone's done something exciting. Maybe a friend of yours says, last weekend I went whitewater rafting. During that conversation, a great question to ask would be, would you do it again? If the person really enjoyed it, they would respond and say, oh, definitely, I would definitely do it again. Or they might say something like this, I wouldn't do it again, it was too expensive. Or I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't do it again because I didn't like it that much. So a great question to ask after someone does something exciting, would you do it again? The second great question to ask in an English conversation, or two questions actually, what happened next or what did you do next? Maybe someone is telling you a story and they haven't told you everything that happened. Maybe they said, I was walking along yesterday and I dropped my phone in the pool. And then they don't tell you anything else. You could ask one of those two questions. What happened next or what did you do next? Because you'll want to know if the phone still works. Did you dive in the pool to get your phone? Did someone else who was swimming in the pool hand it to you? So, two great questions to ask. What happened next or what did you do next? The third question you could ask someone is, how are you feeling today? Now, this question is one you would ask in a specific circumstance. Maybe someone you know went skiing or did some kind of physical activity where they might be feeling a bit sore. Maybe the person was sick recently and during the conversation you find out about it. This is a great question to then ask. How are you feeling today? If someone went skiing, if I went skiing, my legs would be sore. My arms would probably be sore. I would probably be feeling a little bit old, actually. So if I told someone I went skiing, they might ask me, how are you feeling today? And I might say, oh, not too bad. I fell down a few times, but everything's okay. So the third great question to ask in that kind of situation, how are you feeling today? The fourth question you can ask is, how was the weather? This is a question you can ask when someone's talking about something that they recently did outside. Maybe they went on a trip and they went to the beach. Maybe they went for a hike with their family on the weekend. As they're talking about it, you could say, how was the weather? And they'll respond by saying, oh, the weather was great, or it rained a little bit, or overall, it was a nice sunny day. So whenever someone is talking about something they've recently done outside, a great question to ask, how was the weather? A fifth question you can ask is, when did you get back? This is a great question to ask when someone's talking about a trip that they just went on, or maybe they just went away for a day or for the weekend. You could say, when did you get back? It shows that you're curious about what they're telling you about. It shows that you're interested in what they're talking about in the conversation. So if someone is talking about a trip that they just went on, a great question to ask, when did you get back? The sixth question you can ask someone in an English conversation, was it worth it? This is a question you would ask after someone tells you that they went to something that costs money. Maybe they went to a concert and they had to buy a ticket. Maybe they went to a baseball game and they had to buy a ticket. If someone is telling you about something where they paid for the experience, you can definitely ask the question, was it worth it? And they might then say, yeah, it was totally worth it. I would do it again. Or it wasn't worth it. The ticket was $200 and we ended up sitting so far back we could hardly see the players on the field, or maybe we could hardly see the singers on the stage. So, great question to ask, was it worth it? The seventh question you could ask starts like this. What made you decide to, and then you have to finish the question. What made you decide to make bread at home? What made you decide to do yoga? What made you decide to learn how to play the violin? When someone is telling you about something that they are doing or something that they did, it's a cool way to show that you're interested. What made you decide to start making YouTube videos, Bob? Well, I just wanted to figure out how to do it, and everything since then has been history. So a great question to ask. What made you decide to? And then you need to finish the question. The eighth question you can ask is, who did you go with? This is a great question to ask after someone goes on a trip or after someone does something fun. You could just say, who did you go with? You want to show that you're curious. You would like to know who were the people who went on the trip with you? Who are the people who did that fun thing with you? So, who did you go with? And they might answer by saying, I went with my brother, or they might even say, oh, I just went all by myself. So, a great question to ask, who did you go with? The ninth question you could ask is, have things settled down now? This is a question you would ask if someone is telling you that things have been really busy at work, or they might be telling you that things have been really busy in their life. You would then ask the question, have things settled down now? In English, when something settles down, it means it goes back to normal. When you're busy at work, hopefully things settle down after a while. If you're busy in life, hopefully things settle down after a while. So if a friend or someone in conversation says they've been busy, a great question to ask, have things settled down now? The 10th question you can ask, do you have any regrets? This is a question you would ask after maybe someone buys a house or spends a lot of money on something. This is a question you would usually ask after something big has happened in someone's life that they decided to do. You would say, do you have any regrets? This means that, are you happy with what you did, or are there things that didn't go the way you wanted them to, and now you're kind of feeling bad about doing that thing? So the 10th question and the last question for this lesson, do you have any regrets? Well, hey, thank you so much for watching this English lesson. I hope the 10 questions that I taught you will help you in your next English conversation. I have to apologize. I'm sorry that the background wasn't a little more varied this time. I kind of stayed by my shed because it's extremely windy out here. So I kind of had to stay out of the wind while making the lesson. But anyways, thanks for watching. If this is your first time here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and of course, if you have time, why don't you stick around and watch another English lesson.